It's Friday. Do you want to sing the Friday song?
What? There's a Friday song?
The Rebecca Black song, right? Friday. Sing it.
I don't know that one.
Every time I get in your car, you play it. Don't act shy in front of our listeners.
Oh, boy, I can't help it.
It is finally Friday, and we are ready to kick off the weekend. But, of course, we want to wrap up this week with a mail call podcast.
Reaching deep in the mail sack.
Yeah.
As we always do.
Yeah. Still recovering from that issue of The Walking Dead. If you haven't watched it, we do have a review and discussion on issue, what was that, 186? Was that the issue?
Yes, the powder keg.
The powder keg. There you go. And, man, what an issue. Wow. So, yeah, if you read the comics and you haven't read that, go check it out. Also, there is a possibility of a death swap, maybe. If you read the comics, you'll know which death we're talking about. But we do have a podcast talking about that. So if you haven't, just kind of recapping the week. It's been
kind of a best of the week thing.
Yeah. So either one of those, check those out. And somebody later commented, I felt bad on the on that death swap thing. I told you a friend told me that. A friend was like,
right.
I've been hearing some people are saying, and I just thought it was like an educated guess, but somebody said that was from the Spoiling Dead, and I do not really care for the Spoiling Dead. So
I hate biting off them.
Yeah, so if that was a Spoiling Dead thing, apologies. I learned my lesson not to take friend, because I mean, it really was last Friday night. We were sitting at the house just chilling, and he's like, "Hey man, I was reading online. Some people think that this is going to happen." I'm like, "Oh, that's an interesting thought. What if they did trade this person for that person and kill them off?" And then after we podcast, a couple of people were like, "That's from the Spoiling Dead," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" So apologies for that. But either way, let's answer some questions and get things moving.
We got a full mail sack this week.
We got a full sack. I'm gonna tell you,
right.
Big old sack.
It's the only way I take them.
Big old bouncy sack.
Yeah.
All right, so Rain DeVos says, would you guys like to do another D&D style zombie apocalypse while we're in between seasons? I would love to set up some scenarios if you guys are interested. Please be honest if you don't want to do this, because writing scenarios will take some time. Hope you all have a great weekend. I'm down for that.
I am as well.
I played D&D for the first time about a month or so back, and it was
a lot of fun. Right?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I've always, it's just, I've never not wanted to do D&D, but it's just never really been. I'm not really into like dragons and orcs and things.
Friends that were into that.
Yeah, I mean, most of my friends are watching a ball game or something, so D&D wasn't really something that I ever had a chance to get exposed to. But the comic shop owner next door, they play, and I played and really enjoyed it. It was a very fun. I really love stories, obviously. We talk about The Walking Dead, and I just love how story-driven it is.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, circa 06, a lot of my friends who aren't into any fantasy or sci-fi got deep into World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I never got into.
I got a friend that is a straight-up, like, country dude. Like, this guy hunts. He can fix anything, has every tool known to man, big beard, just this, like, grizzly, like Southern man, and then like probably not 2006, but maybe 2008 or so, like somewhere in that range. Still, he just comes to my house one day with a laptop, and he's like, I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Playing World of Warcraft." He was using my Wi-Fi, and I mean, I watched it for a few minutes, and I was like, is that a flying cat? What are you riding?" And he's like, "It's a so-and-so," and he got like deep into it for a couple of years, man. But yeah,
it's a rabbit hole, that's for sure.
But yeah, man, I mean, if you want to create some scenarios, JP, we'd be down for it, right?
I love it. Be our dungeon master.
Yeah, please.
Whatever the zombie apocalypse equivalent
See, that is what you call it, a dungeon master, but when you say it, it just sounds kinky.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I
feel like that's not the first time you've looked at another human being and said, "Be my dungeon master."
Yeah, I've been in some sticky situations that don't involve board games, but a lot of leather and latex.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Whatever makes you happy. But yeah, Rain, that'd be awesome. Just get us some scenarios, and we would love to play them out. I think that would be really cool. And we're being honest, we definitely will. Now, sometimes we have less busy weeks. We're getting ready to work. We've been talking about it for about a month, but I actually had a phone conversation with another YouTuber yesterday. The first time we've actually spoke on the phone. Really good conversation, and we're going to do some really cool stuff going forward in collaboration with them. But it's like I told him, I was like, man, working in radio full time, I mean, it's some mornings where I get here and I'm like, we're going to podcast today, and next thing I know, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. I've been so busy, and I'm like, oh, we didn't get to podcast today. So yes, write those scenarios, give them to us, and we'll try to make it a point to at least once a week hit up the scenarios that you send us, especially zombie apocalypse, dude. That'd be awesome. So yeah, that'd be cool. Ryan Owen. Let's see. I knew a guy named Ray Owen, so I keep wanting to call him that. Perspective. Rick would be the biggest villain in the series with some of his actions. Example, biting a guy's throat out just because he was trying to get some butt. Never forget Ray. Yeah, man, it's rough when I know a guy named Ray Owen, went to high school with him, and I just keep wanting to call you Ray.
Right.
I mean, I think...
Wasn't he trying to get some young Carl?
He was trying to get some unconsensual butt. You know what I mean? On top of that, a young kid's unconsensual butt.
Yeah,
so, no,
well,
I don't...
always condone getting butt. I don't always condone getting butt because sometimes it's just not
Right,
cool.
You condone consensual of age butt.
Right.
Not.
Consenting adults.
Right.
I mean, two teenage. I'm just saying, be within the right bracket.
Right. You know what's right and what ain't. Like, you know. That sounded so right. I'm just getting more and more redneck, man. I'm telling you. You know what's right and what ain't.
Own it, brother.
It's because I've been playing, we live in the South, so everybody here has got some country in their blood.
There's a lot of it floating around.
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, so I just find myself sounding more and more like Arthur Morgan. You know it ain't right. But, I don't think Rick's a bad guy at all. I mean, there's some decisions he's made that were questionable in the sense of, like that cop that was running from him in season 5 and he, hits him with the car and then guns him down. I could see some moral calamity there. I mean, I know he's trying to get Beth back and all of that, but, I mean, he straight up just brutally murdered this guy. And
they were on a time crunch. It wasn't time for deliberation.
But with that all said and done, overall, no, I don't think I could ever see Rick Grimes as a bad guy. Everything he's done has been to protect other people. I mean, to protect Carl, to save himself, to save his group. I think Rick is the hero we all want to be. What was that old Batman thing? Not the hero that they need, but the hero they deserve. No, not the hero they deserve.
Yeah,
the hero they need. Yeah. But appreciate your comment, Ray. I'm just playing, Ryan. We're so blah today, too. We were just having like a 30-minute conversation before we got on here, and I'm like...
Yeah, and it's really cold, and
we got a snowstorm coming in.
Later, and... Yeah.
Not for much longer,
Not
though.
for much longer, no.
The floodgates are about to be open.
Yeah, has rescued me from the 9-to-5 grind.
Well, the floodgates for opportunity, not just for JP in his personal life, but also time to do podcasting, extra podcasting stuff has now been open. So hopefully we'll be able to grow this channel.
I love it.
Let's see. Shinso. I think I said that right. It was actually what movie... It was actually what movies or TV shows would you take if you were trapped on an island? I got you. I want to see if you're real. Best scene in your opinion, Maggie and Glenn or Abe and Rosita?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Throw Shane and Lori as well, because technically he was thrusting.
Yeah, Shane and Lori's mine, baby.
If you don't answer the question, that's just a shame that the PC world has gotten you to as well. No, we're not super PC. I'll say that I hate political correctness. I mean, I do, to some extent, there are just some things if you want to have a successful career in media or anything like this that you've got to kind of avoid. But I'm not going to go out of my way to be super, super PC.
No, I think it's all about context.
My favorite comedy routines are basically my favorites because they're so anti-PC.
Right. You love George Carlin as I do. You love,
yeah.
You love Joey
George Carlin's
Coco Diaz as I do.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we watch Joe Rogan, yeah.
No, no, we're not that PC, and we'll actually absolutely answer that question. So which scene did you think was the hottest? Maggie and Glenn getting it on at the prison? I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Is this Shinso? Have we learned the sex of Shinso?
We'll just... no, I don't think so.
I don't know. Either way. All right, Shinso. He, she, whatever you may be. It rhymed.
Oh, yeah.
You're
a poet, you didn't know it.
But no, so man, I think that they're talking about Maggie and Glenn at the prison. You know, that scene.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember it well. Oh, man, that was a good... I wish we could watch them all right now so I could really see
I don't want to watch them with you. Yeah, I don't want to be in that scenario with you.
Get the Chubba meter out and we'll see what happens.
Ding, ding, ding. Abe and Rosita with Eugene watching, that was pretty hot. And he had Rosita all laid out, and Eugene's kind of being a perv.
He was taking Rosita from behind, wasn't he?
No,
was he not?
Not at first. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's been a while, but I know at one point, like he was on top of her and she was like on her back.
Oh man, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
And then Glenn and Maggie, they were kind of rolling around, and I know she was like straddling it.
Oh yeah. Right? Or Lori and Shane, which was just... we didn't even know them at this point that well, and it was just kind of an awkward scene.
Nah, it was hot. But
I guess awkward turns you on because that probably describes a lot of your sexual encounters, right?
It does indeed. I like a woman who's ready to just jump on the gear shift, baby.
Yeah,
Get in a violent situation. I mean, not a domestically violent situation,
right?
Gunning down zombies or enemies or whatever. But did we see Maggie's side boob in that prison watchtower?
I don't really think so.
God, can I get back on this one? I want to watch these scenes and then make an informed decision.
Make a uninformed decision, then we'll watch these scenes and we'll come back and make a but off the top of our heads, because they left a question. We need to give them some kind of answer.
Okay.
And then we'll give a revised answer. That's tough for me. Let me hear yours. Mine's between two, obviously. But.
Man, I remember the one with Shane really revving me up, but I also remember Maggie seeing some skin. So man, that's a tough one.
The farmer's daughter, man.
Yeah, and like they're on the brink of war.
Any you want to just pick one now, and then you can go back and change that later?
I'll go with.
I love how hard this is for you.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
That's
brother.
what you said.
No, I'll go with Shane and Lori for now.
What? Oh, that wasn't even in my top two.
I mean, not Shane and Lori. Shane and Andrea. Was that what?
That wasn't one of the options.
Shane and Andrea wasn't one. Oh,
I guess you could throw it in the ring if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll go with Shane and Andrea. I was totally tripping.
That was like the least action of the scene, though. She just grabbed his ding-a-ling.
But dude, in context to what was going on, I totally mixed up Lori for Andrea.
She grabbed his ding-a-ling. He said, well, come on in. And then she just straddled and they kissed. The horn honked once, and then it went away. You got to see Maggie drop trowel and just everything. You got to see Rosita
I remember with Lori, you see his hand kind of going down her pants.
I can't believe we just spent the last 10 minutes.
I can't believe I mixed up Lori with Andrea. I'm so sorry. Lori and I was not attracted to Lori at all.
They both were terrible characters. I'm
talking about just physically. I was not attracted to Lori, so we can just chop that one off.
Okay.
And if Andrea's not in the mix, then definitely Maggie and
make sure
Glenn.
He did. Make sure they did say
it's early. And
Shane and Lori.
I mix up characters half the time anyway.
Yeah, it's tough. Mine's between Maggie and Glenn or Abe and Rosita, because Maggie and Glenn, I find both Maggie and Rosita to be very attractive. Rosita was kind of awkward because Abraham was this older dude. It was kind of old enough to be her dad. And
as Hank Jr. said, I love to see a sweet young thing with old granddad. I'm a dirty old man at heart.
I know you are. I'm gonna actually go with Maggie and Glenn. Just because Maggie's, up until she pissed everybody off. Now apparently a lot of people hate Maggie.
Really?
I've been blown away by that. But
I don't want to go there. But gun to my head, on the other side, if I had to have sex with either Glenn or Abraham, it'd definitely be Glenn. So we're going to go Glenn and Maggie.
Gun to my head,
or just a few cocktails on a Saturday night.
Oh Lord, well whatever gets you there. But so moving on for those that are oh my God, I don't care about what you find hot or not. But so Shinso, there you go. Maybe JP will revise. Yeah. So JC Nightwalker says, what do you think of my predictions on who gets the spike? Here is my prediction. The woman who hitched a ride to the kingdom with Carol, not a huge deal. No, but she's that arrow backup. You know what I mean? Rosita, huge deal, definitely. And all the kids from Hilltop get spikes. Oh wow, all those bratty teenagers. Yeah,
let's get rid of that whole storyline.
Would send all the groups in a meltdown, full on Daryl, Carol, nightmare killer mode. Daryl dropped. Excuse me, I can't read today. Carol dropped the match on those saviors without batting an eye when they just pushed her son down. Imagine the complete outrage, full on Morgan clear mode. Carol would go. P.S. gives me the shivers. P.S. I changed my name so you can pronounce it. I really don't like being called douche. Did we call you a douche? I'm sorry if we called you a douche.
You've ever called a commenter a douche?
Not on here.
No, not on air.
Because we got some douchebags commenting sometimes. None of these.
No.
These are all super nice. But
we're talking about
it's tons of trolls. But if we called you a douche, sure.
I think that's taken out of context.
I don't know, but hey, we got it right now. JC Nightwalker.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we love you, and I'm sorry for the miscommunication.
I'm so slow today, man. I'm just so tired. I just have not been sleeping well. Tudor, The Walking Dead, longtime listener, says, Daryl saved T-Dog on the highway in season 2. Yes, he did, and I remember how awesome that scene was.
Yeah.
He's like, tells him after T-Dog's cut his arm and he comes up and like sticks a bolt in the back of that zombie. And he was the one who found the barn before the storm would have killed everybody in season 5. So Daryl is the supreme savior. Yeah, you're pretty much right.
Yeah,
That's the way he's
can't
been
argue
written.
with that.
Oh, thank you for listening. Joseph V says maybe Michonne killed Maggie, but some of the Hilltop doesn't know. Maybe, but considering that Lauren Cohen has been dropping hints, and so is Angela King about Maggie's return, I just don't know, unless she's going to return as a walker.
Oh, boy.
Boom, boom, boom. Jade Prout said, I think since so, yes, I'm glad you asked this so we can get back to that question. We got so wrapped up in the sex scene that we completely left the other part of the question alone. But Jade Prout says, I think Shinso was asking the classic question of what TV shows or movies would you want to have with you if you were trapped on a deserted island, deserted island that had electricity and a DVD player.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's tough, man. Definitely going to take Lost.
So we're talking TV shows?
I wonder if we can just have one, though. Let's say, let's take it a step above. Well, let's say you get 3 apiece. That's everything, though. You get 3 forms of entertainment. That can be 3 shows, 3 movies, or a mixture of them. What are you bringing? I already know mine.
Well,
I'll let you go first.
I've never really watched the show that much, but just for educational purposes, Naked and Afraid, I think that'd be useful being in this situation.
Never watched that show.
I've never watched it.
I had a good friend
I watched it a little bit, but
who was really into it.
But no, I'm a big Sopranos fan. I'd have to bring The Sopranos.
Without a doubt. Probably Breaking Bad for you too, right?
I love Breaking Bad, but just to lighten it up, if I only have 3, I'd probably have to bring Seinfeld.
I feel like you do need a comedy in there to kind of. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it would make you miss. I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna miss stuff anyway.
So Seinfeld, Sopranos, and you get one more thing. What's it gonna be? Let me see if I can pull up the cart faster than you can guess to have the music. What are you doing? What are you thinking?
Probably Batman the Animated Series. Cartoon I grew up with early 90s.
Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
I can get down with that. That was great. That's one of the best Batman things ever.
It was between that and the X-Men cartoon on Fox Kids. They're both really good.
I think for me, probably just off the top of my head, it would probably be Lost, The Walking Dead, and Fight Club.
Oh, Fight Club.
Not as much comedy in there, I know, but there's some comedy in Fight Club, though. But,
yeah, there is.
Those would probably be my 3. But, of course, I'm sure I can always, second-guess myself, and after I leave work today, be like, oh, man, I would totally take this. Why did it? But so right now, Lost, Walking Dead, Fight Club.
Yeah, I'd go Seinfeld, Sopranos.
It's tough, though, man.
And Batman the Animated.
I would really want to bring Game of Thrones, Westworld. There's so many other really, really good shows out there. I mean, I don't know. Game of Thrones might have to come with me. I might have to sub that out for something.
That's a tough one, man.
That's tough,
You're going to be mad at yourself no matter what. When
you really are. You really are.
Yeah.
Brianne McCann says Andrea would bang anything with a penis. JP, you're in luck. She was awful, and she betrayed Michonne and Rick for some butt.
First of all,
glad she got bit by Milton. Boom. I'm so glad that, some people have agreed with you and liked Andrea, but I got to say the vast majority seem to side with me that Andrea was freaking terrible on the show. Great comic character. She was awesome in the comics. Terrible in the show.
I think that comment is good old-fashioned slut-shaming. I do not adhere to it. I do not condone it. I do not endorse it.
JP does not.
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, whatever.
I love all spectrums of sexuality as long as, like we said, consenting adults and all that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that Mr. and this is really I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Mr. I guess that's how you would pronounce it. If you think I just had a little stroke there or just went stupid there for a second, go to this comment and look at this guy's name. It's Mr. MMMNGGHH. Wouldn't that be type deal?
Isn't that what sounds about right?
Isn't that how you imagine the sound when you read comics and they do that?
Yeah.
Television Andrea was a poor shadow of excellent graphic novel Andrea. Amen. I felt bad for Laurie Holden having to slog her way through the dialogue that they forced on her. And see, I agree 100%. I've said several times that I think that my dislike of Andrea was not any fault of Laurie Holden. I thought I think she's a good actress, and I like her. She seems like a really cool person in real life, too. It's not her acting that made me dislike the role. It's the terrible way it was written.
She really brought that character to life,
And she really brought Shane to life. That's what you like about her.
All up inside her.
Brianne McCann one more time says, hey guys, were you shocked when Michonne happened? At first it seemed weird to me, but the more on-screen time they had together, the better it got for me. I can't imagine Rick with anyone else now. Yeah, it was, definitely. We actually had somebody tell us we were racist in the beginning because we just said we just didn't see it comment. Like, it was weird for us, and we had somebody comment this long thing and was like...
Right, I loved it. I was surprised. I was really surprised.
I didn't see it coming, but no, I agree with you now. I think they're great. I like Rick and Michonne together a lot. They fit together. It's just that they were both these really, I don't know, I guess you're just so used to the formulaic, like, I don't know, I don't know, they just were so much alike. I mean, right. Rick's strong, I don't know, I didn't see it coming, but then once it happened after, you had a little bit of time to get used to it, I'm like Brienne now. It's like, well, I really couldn't see him with anybody but Michonne. It's hard to believe he was ever with Lori.
Yeah, and it can be hard for two alphas to get together because at the end of the day, both people want to be on top. And
hey-oh, I know where you're going with that.
What? I stole that off some TV show or movie. I can't remember what.
Oh, well, at least you tried to give credit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it was. I just didn't see it coming, and because they've always portrayed them to be more like just like the guy and the girlfriend that can be friends without there being sexual tension. Right. But that they shattered that with what was it, toothpaste? Or it was something he brought back.
I think it was toothpaste.
Was it toothpaste?
Gum, because he couldn't find toothpaste.
Yeah, something to that effect. But no, now that it's going, I liked Rick and Michonne together. And I'm going to tell you what, Michonne's reaction to Rick's departure is, for me, like 60 to 70% of what made it so sad. Mm-hmm. And we've said for a while, man, Denai Guerrero is an amazing actress. I love her in everything she's been in. The Tupac movie, the Avengers movies. She's awesome. Black Panther, she's great. So... it was weird, but I'm fine with it now. I did start watching this a little bit. Dana the Doula. Jericho was an excellent show that was canceled way before its time. If you guys do a podcast on it, I'll join you in rewatching the episodes. And I forgot Lenny James was in it. That just makes me love it even more. Nuts. I watched the first episode of that last Friday.
How was it?
It was not bad. It definitely feels like an older show. It's filmed more like sitcom style. Is that
not really?
Not in a comedic sense, like not like with laugh. But you know what I mean? It's not like it's just a different time, though. I mean, in its defense, many shows.
And it's like a network show,
right? Most shows were filmed that way back then, but
especially network shows.
It has Billy from Scream. Is the protagonist in it. I was
wondering what happened to him.
Lenny James is in it, and he talks like Morgan. Maybe not as Southern. I only saw him a little bit on the first episode, but he reminds me it's like Morgan on that. Yeah, so it wasn't bad. I wouldn't mind. We'll have to see if JP has time for it because there's a lot of other things we want to do on the podcast.
There are.
I wouldn't mind getting into it. I've got a friend that loves Jericho. Loves it. Tyler says Oceanside was mentioned by Henry in the finale, by the way. It was, but we haven't seen them since we've made this time jump.
Anything could have happened.
Yeah. We know that they're still there, apparently, but who all's still there? We don't know if, you know what I mean? It's, what if, rather than Michonne doing something bad, Maggie did something bad and the others were okay with it, except for Michonne? That'd be a good twist. So she separated herself from the others because they didn't approve of what they did, and that Maggie left because she felt guilty for what she did, and now there's that awkwardness. That is an absolutely perfect point. I can't talk. I'm sorry. Create Till Death did that. That would be a great twist. Everybody's thinking Michonne did some shady, grimy stuff, and that's why, but that... Kudos. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
I don't see you clapping.
I felt like wooing.
You know what? Hold on, Create Till Death. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna see to it that you get the applause you deserve. You can't hear this, JP, but they can. There you go. Woo. That's a great point. I would love to see that, a cool twist to where, which Michonne, if you look in the trailer breakdown, she in that flashback looks like she's watching Rick die again almost. You know what I mean? Like she's got tears in her eyes as she's. So I don't know, man. That's a really cool point. I would love to see that plot twist that they did something screwed up and Michonne called him out on it and was like, I'm done. I'm not dealing with that. So
yeah, Maggie might have blood on her hands. Who knows?
And she does say, talking about how she won't forget and yada yada yada. So I don't know. You might be onto something. Rosita would dominate Luciana and is way hotter too. Yeah. Let's see. Diane is from the Kingdom. Yes, she is. That's the bow lady.
Oh, that we
were just talking about? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe from Dark Star also. Maybe those graves are Oceanside people because it looks like stones around the graves. Maybe there's seashells to represent the ocean.
Oh, that'd be so sweet.
I mean, if they're not the ones that murdered them.
Right.
Skeptical American says, thanks for responding. It was a network show, CBS, and the first season aired in 2006, 22 episodes, but then got canceled. Fans pushed back, and they got renewed for 7 episodes. It's talking about Jericho.
Right.
With it being only like a season and a half, too, it probably wouldn't be that hard to podcast on it.
Maybe not.
So maybe we could get that. Let's see. Cisco. I don't know how to say your last name, and I am so sorry, but love listening to the podcast that doesn't kiss The Walking Dead's ass. Thank you. And says that he'll miss Matt and that he loves Southern accents, and Matt was one of his favorites. And that's fine if Matt's accent was your favorite, but to be honest, between the three of us, Matt has the least amount of Southern accent out of anybody. Wouldn't you think so, JP?
Yeah, I guess it's weird thinking about it from like an outside, like
right, yeah, because
I don't know.
We're kind of like tone deaf to the Southern accent.
I guess so.
We have them, but we just don't.
I've never thought of myself as having much.
I'd have to go back and listen to Matt and see if he has a Southern accent. I hadn't thought about that, but either way, Cisco, thanks for listening. Carol says, I haven't seen Cal from Hilltop or a few of the other familiar guards, although they could be with Georgie and Maggie. And although I haven't seen Cindy or Rachel or any Seaside characters, that one punky kid who got Henry into trouble mentioned the Oceanside women and said that he should become a fisherman, right? So at least we know they aren't completely wiped out. But yes, you were so right. So many mysterious questions. I love you guys. We love you, Carol.
We do. We sure do.
You are awesome.
Wholeheartedly.
Somebody commented. Let's see. I'm seeing they responded. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the questions. Thanks. Brian Akeem says, thanks for answering my questions. I'll do one question from now on to give a chance for someone else. So considerate, Brian. Still, R.I.P. Ken. Never forget. Do you even remember who Ken was at this point? He was that kid that died on the premiere. The one that we didn't know anything about, but he's the one whose dad was, he's the blacksmith, and his mom is Tammy, and they're
right.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Vaguely.
Sure. Brian has made sure that we never forget the sacrifice of Ken. He went back to save the horse and got bit.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. Brian Akeem's question, how do you think the show would be if Glenn was still alive? Maybe better since we have so few guys left? Maybe. I mean, I really liked Glenn. I agree with Stephen Yin that played him, though. I mean, you really couldn't not have Glenn go out the way he did. So iconic, man.
It had to happen.
But if Glenn were still around, I don't know. It would be interesting to see Glenn's ideologies, how they would have evolved over we lost Glenn. Since we've lost Glenn, it's been 7.5 years, right? We had a year and a half time jump from the end of the all-out war to the beginning, and then a 6-year time jump. So it'd be like 7.5 years, somewhere in that range. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting to see how his ideologies, if they've changed any, if he's become more steadfast in them. I would love some Elseworld stories, man, where certain characters live and we get to see how they would be today. But I don't know, man. I think it would be a little bit more humane. I think Glenn was a lot more of a gentle fellow.
Yeah, he kind of filled the void that Morgan left when he went down to Texas.
Yeah.
Just the moral compass.
All right, Michonne Grimes. Oh, I remember when you three used to answer the question together. Now you're international. I love it. Congratulations and keep on growing. Bye, guys. Have a great week. Michonne, you're so sweet.
Thank you so much.
Just like the real Michonne. We love you so much.
We do.
Let's see. And also from Michonne, there are so many awesome and iconic things that happen in the comics that we will never, ever see. I feel like by season 15, if they get that far, we will be referring to The Walking Dead as a show that used to be based on a comic. Kind of like how Game of Thrones did, just got ahead of the books.
That's true.
Do we think, hey guys, do you think that Jadis told the helicopter people that Rick was a B because if he were an A, they would have treated him differently? I don't know. I'm starting to think that like A's are bitten or something.
That seems to be the case.
I don't know. I'm really interested. I have to really think on that because I actually have like a thought on A's and B's now, but I hadn't thought about it in a few weeks.
Yeah,
so
we may readdress that in a new podcast.
Jeep says, mail call or message, as Keenan Waynes would say, my obscure movie reference of the day. Chris Jericho is way too busy with his band Fozzy to be making movies or wrestling these days, JP.
Okay, well, good.
They're not bad either. You should give them a listen.
Yeah, I knew he had a band, but I'm not into that noisy music. So.
You're so old. As far as the Oceanside goes, they're still around. One of those boys Henry was talking about mentioned it said something about living with the Oceanside women. Well, I guess Those are not really questions, but answers, LOL. So here's a question. We know Beta was a basketball player, but why do you suppose we don't see more people that were famous before the apocalypse? Surely they were not all stupid enough to get themselves eaten or bit, because they're probably out in California. Or wherever a lot of famous people spend time. You're right. I mean, you would think that they would have created some character on the show that was a celebrity in the prior life just to address that, because even Resident Evil did that. Remember in Resident Evil, I can't remember the number, but that guy, Louis Von Drawn, whatever. It's been forever since I've seen that horrible movie, but he was like a famous model or basketball player or something. But anyways, but I mean, in the comics, Tyrese was also a famous football player or ex-football player. He used to play in the NFL. So, I mean, they addressed that quite a bit in the comics with several characters, but not in the show. I don't know. And the vegan Berkeley Beauty says, Andrea was not a law clerk, JP. She was a civil rights attorney.
I didn't say she was a law clerk.
She said as much. I mean, maybe I said it. I don't know. I feel like you said it because I thought I asked you what she was. I thought she was some kind of attorney, and I thought you said that she wasn't an attorney. She was like a law clerk or something. But I don't know.
No,
I could be wrong.
That.
Maybe I'm backwards.
Maybe one of our commenters said that.
Maybe.
Actually.
Don't blame them.
Because
don't you be blaming our listeners.
No, I'm passing I always assume she was an attorney.
And Dale also, we had a comment under that from JC Nightwalker, because Dale said it too, like when they were, I think it was back when they were deciding what to do with Randall.
Yeah.
And he was like, you were a blah, blah, blah attorney. So, yeah. Brian says, guys, love the show. Of course, in the next episode trailer, we see Daryl going down to meet Alpha, presumably. Probably not for a friendly chat or to stay for tea. Do you think someone will get captured and D is going to negotiate a release? Is it because the Hilltop has Lydia in the comics? I haven't read it. Are the Whisperers a group that negotiates?
To an extent.
Right. I was going to say, okay, so obviously comic spoilers here, but yeah, they do to an extent negotiate. I mean, they basically, when it comes to Lydia, Alpha tells Maggie, like, give me my daughter. We'll give you, who did they have? It was just somebody they captured from the Hilltop, right? I knew the answer, but.
Yeah, they have somebody
and they're like, hey,
hostage exchange.
We'll trade. No harm will come to your people. We'll set up some boundaries, and just as long as we do this trade and we stay off of each other's land, there will be no conflict. Yeah, to an extent, but if you roam with zombies, what are you so worried about territory for, though? Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything, make friends with those people and be like, so here's the deal. We kind of cruise around with zombies. Y'all don't kill us if you see us.
Yeah.
We'll have some kind of signal or something. But yeah, they can be. They weren't just like straight up like crazy killers, but Mr. Tab 64 says, I don't quite get what hashtags mean, but here goes. For us, it just makes it easier. We started doing hashtag mail call in other videos, so when we searched through comments, we could find it. It would stand out to us. But he says, maybe a question for your next mail call. Season 3, episode 12. Clear. Morgan. People are wearing dead people's faces. It's a long way back. But did Morgan maybe meet with the Whisperers at some point? Love the podcast, guys. Thank you, Mr. Tabs.
I've heard speculation about that.
I have too, but I don't know, man. That was a long, long time ago. Maybe it was the start of the Whisperers, but
I think he was just speaking in metaphor.
Right. I think he was just talking about like the transition of like people that you loved going from being alive to being dead and trying to eat you.
That'd be cool to see a Morgan Whisperer flashback, though. Mm-hmm. So
I just would love to see Morgan on The Walking Dead again. Agent X17, a long-time loyal listener, says, I got 2 questions. First question. Which Walking Dead female... Oh, wow. This is... Get ready. If you have kids around, please muffle their ears or turn the volume down or something.
Oh, boy. What's coming?
You ready? Hold on. Let's see if I can find something good to play with this.
I'm excited.
All right. Let's see. Do I have any kind of funky music?
Some sexy music.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm so glad we get to do one of these a week where we can kind of BS. Like, when you click on this video, you know you're going to listen to us bullshit for about an hour. And
probably so.
What is this music? Yeah, I can dig it. I hate that you don't have on headphones, but you can't hear it. But anyways, all right. So here we go. Funky music.
For a funky question?
It's really not. I have like some 70s porn music in the database somewhere, and I cannot find it, but whatever. All right, so I got 2 questions. First question, number 1, which Walking Dead female characters would you kill, marry, or bleep
Oh, man.
Am asking everyone in podcast. Second question is, which Walking Dead female character would you get pregnant or start a family with if you could? It has to be one female, not more like... I don't know what that means. I know mine would be Maggie, hands down. Glenn picked the best choice. I mean, I don't really want to kill any of them except for maybe Alpha. We haven't met her yet, but I mean...
yeah, so we don't know how...
I don't really want to like just kill any of them in cold blood yet. I would. I don't know, man. That's tough. I mean, I would like to, have sexy time and marry Maggie. I'm with you on that one.
Rosita would be F. No, Rosita would be Mary. And that blonde chick that...
Rosita would be on there, too. That's tough, man. I don't know.
Rosita's Mary. F is Maggie. And kill...
Rosita... I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. Remember that blonde chick that Rick was with that got eaten?
Jesse. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. I take Maggie back for Jesse. You're right. Jesse was
a stone cold fox.
And I'm kind of partial to her because she was on American Horror Story season 1 and she was like this sexy
was she the maid?
The sexy maid. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of partial. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jesse for all of them. She was strong-willed. She only died because of her stupid kid.
This is F, Mary, kill, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to kill her. No.
I was going to say, I'm picking her for marry her and then murder her.
And ladies, I know that we don't have a female perspective on this podcast, but feel free on the comments of this video. Tell us which guys in The Walking Dead. Girls don't matter. Tell us who you would do all of that with. You know what I mean? Don't feel like you...
Or look, if you like a little bit of both, just have a free
just tell us which guy or girl or both that you would do all of this with.
Or Walker. Why not?
I mean, hey, whatever floats you, whatever gets you there.
Yeah,
Thank you for your comment, X17. That was a difficult one to answer. I don't know. Some of these I have to think really hard about.
F Maggie, marry Rosita, and kill Carol.
What is wrong with you? Why would you kill Carol?
No, I'd kill Lori.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
At least Carol can bake. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
There were a lot of deaths at Hilltop a while back when Tobin and company turned into... I don't know why I can't read today. I don't know if it's Friday. I don't know if it's because of all the stress I got going on in real life or what. I'm so sorry. I sound like the most illiterate person right now.
No, you're fine, brother.
There were a lot of deaths at Hilltop a while back when Tobin and co. turned in the infirmary, walked into Barrington House, and killed a lot of Hilltopians in there. They would cause quite a few graves. Seemed like a good number at the time. But sure, over 6 years, they would have more deaths even without battle, says Marilyn R. Good point.
Yeah.
It has been 6 years. People die. And
we're only speculating. Those graves might not mean anything.
And I agree with Agent X17 here. In my opinion, I don't think Morgan's son is alive. It is possible the actor is playing a different character. It seems like nobody points that out. Yet it is possible that a young actor in a very young age, then when a few years later the actor is much older, so it is possible he's a different character. Yeah.
I think it'd be so stupid if Dwight survived.
Because that's kind of how you felt about them bringing Michonne to her daughter. You're cool with it now, but you were a little weird with it in the comics. Yeah. I remember you were kind of like, it just, what are the odds?
Morgan's son survived, man. That'd be just stupid.
That's like writing just for shock value at this point. Maybe they'll do a flashback, or maybe Morgan will have like a hallucination where he sees a grown-up.
I don't know.
Dwayne. I wanted to call him Walt. For some reason, I'm thinking of Lost.
Yeah.
Because he was a lost son, yada, yada. You haven't seen the show. But
no, I haven't.
When we talk about Negan's redemption arc, I think about when the governor turned into Brian, and I was about to forgive the past until he relapsed, but he was a good leader. Yeah, but Negan's redemption arc is an actual redemption arc. The governor was just kind of more or less amassing himself in other armies, and then he just went psycho. And
the governor had good intentions to begin with when he found that little family, but.
And that is a good question. Do you think that he really was trying to clear the prison for those people, or do you think it was just old beef he was bringing back?
No, man, it's been so long. I mean, I think he wanted, a safe haven for his peeps.
And especially consider that little girl kind of his daughter, and he had lost Penny and all of that. So, yeah. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Good discussion. Do you think the governor actually wanted to take back the prison to protect those people and would have actually just let Rick and his group walk away and it would have been all done? Or do you think that this just had to do with bringing up, old drama? And then JC Nightwalker said, totally agree with you. you should turn that statement into a question and get more feedback from the fans. Ha! That's what we just did.
Oh, no.
I didn't even read that at first. Awesome. I'm glad to know that we're on the same wavelength there, JC Nightwalker. Let's see. How many more do we have? Okay. We're making pretty good time. We made pretty good time. Okay. I am pretty sure that Walker blood will infect you if it gets into your bloodstream in some way for an extended period of time, although people put blood on their faces and clothes. As long as you don't get it pumping through your body, it'll be okay. This is why Negan put blood on the weapons. The weapons would pierce the flesh and infect. Presumably, the infected limb was discovered early enough it could be cut off to prevent further infection. In the case of a bite, they cut off the area of infection to prevent spread, similar to septica. I guess like sepsis.
Right.
Which leads to... the state of having bacteria in your blood, which can lead to sepsis. Sepsis would kill you similar to how the Walker bite bacteria eventually courses through your body and kills you. In situations where the immune system is weak, like Gabe's, I think you suffer some damage from the adverse effects of an infection, similar to an extreme allergic reaction. But if you treat it, you can survive. My 2 cents. A good way to look at it, because you're already infected. The bite is just, it kills you from...
Yeah.
Let's see. And Scrapbook Fashionata, we have another Matt question to answer up top, actually. Says that, talks about Matt leaving and said that, Matt wasn't really a fan of the show and things like that. And says we're a little bit. Says, I know you guys are friends, but your thoughts? I mean, we still think the world of Matt, and there's, not like there was a falling out with Matt or any issues with Matt whatsoever. He's just not a big Walking Dead fan.
No,
we talked about having him
other projects.
Yeah, we talked about having him on your conspiracy podcast.
No, did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You were part of the conversation. Where does your head at sometimes? Do you just smile and nod throughout your life?
I lose interest very easily.
I see.
Like these long podcasts, brother, I'm already hanging on by a thread. what are we even talking about? No, that's lovely. He's beautiful. We love him. He's pursuing other things.
Yeah, and I mean, he wasn't feeling The Walking Dead. It's like, sometimes, we'll be like, this episode sucked, or this is bullshit that they did this, but at the same time, we still love the show. Like, Matt just was not a fan of the show at all, so... Yeah. It was, like I said, we are still friends, and there was no hard feelings. But I don't know if I want to say it was the best thing for the podcast, because Matt was very funny. But it's not fair to. I'm trying to think of a show I hate. There's lots of them. Why can't I think of one right now?
I don't know.
I hate that show.
Everybody Loves Raymond. You don't.
I don't like that show. I don't know why. Everybody likes it, and I don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't want to be on a podcast about it. You know what I mean? If y'all were like, we're doing Everybody Loves Raymond podcast, I wouldn't want to be on it just because I don't like
cast.
it. Yeah,
such a great cast.
Okay, I like Ray Romano. That show bored me, man. I don't know what it is. My girlfriend loved it. Everybody loved it. I don't know why I'm weird like that.
Who played Frank? Anyway, let's not
getting close to wrapping it up here. Idris Dynasty says Magnus character reminds me a lot of Rosita, which sucks because it feels like we're losing one of them, and we all know who. Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. What are your death predictions for the Whisperer Border? Mine are Ezekiel, Luke, Tammy, Rose, Laura, DJ, Alden, Scott, Jerry, and either Rosita, Tara, Gabriel, or Eugene. Oh, man, somebody said that Marilyn said Negan would be a great shock. But
God.
They wouldn't do that.
Don't do that.
Let's see. I'm looking through... Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I would imagine Ezekiel, Luke, Tammy, Laura is the barcode, the savior that has the barcode. I definitely think Alden's going to be on the wall. Let's see, Jerry. I'm afraid, and I think it's going to be Rosita. I don't think. I mean, they'll switch it up some, I'm sure, but I don't think they would kill off Eugene yet. Eugene, I know that they do switch it up quite a bit from the comics, but I feel like Eugene's got to, if they're going to write it well, Eugene's got, some more to tell. He's finally been somewhat of a badass, more than he was, and really had a great arc. So I don't know. I think they would want to show us a little bit more of Eugene's contribution, because they're going to probably need Eugene to out-strategize the Whisperers. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't think Eugene's going to be on the wall. I could see them maybe throwing Terror up there just to be a shock. But let's see. And Brian says, I bet Michonne had to kill a bunch of them and exile the rest. The teenager did say, have you been to Oceanside? Is it all women? So it does still exist, right? So yeah, maybe there was a war between Michonne and Oceanside, and we know who would win that.
Yeah.
Like literally, Michonne versus all of Oceanside. And finally, What Is This says, do you think Jesus dying was more a personal thing? The show got everyone all hyped for a new character, Jesus, then poof, he is dead. They may as well have killed him off since he never gave him showtime. Plus, the higher-ups knew how hard he was working to be on the show. Well, he said in an interview that I've seen where he was talking about how he did all of this martial arts training when he got the role because they give him the script episode to episode. So, he didn't have much to go on as far as who Jesus was. So he picked up the graphic novels and was reading on them and was like, oh, man, this guy's flexible, limber. He's a martial artist. He's, very acrobatic. So I'm going to have to learn how to do these things. So he took martial arts to kind of get ready for the role. And then he did express that he was a little let down that they never really capitalized on it. Not much. It was like here or there. But so, yeah, I think he was ready to go. They definitely underutilized him.
That character was mishandled.
Big time. Scott Gimple, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. There's one more question. And then we're going to go, where was it? Entertain them while I find it, JP.
Like I said, I really liked Everybody Loves Raymond. I mean, I understand some of the criticisms from certain people that they were using it to kind of deconstruct the male in a family, the single mom. So I'm not like, the man should be the man of the house and all this kind of stuff. But I do understand that argument, but just so well cast. Brad Garrett, a comedic genius. If you haven't seen I'm Dying Up Here, a Showtime series about the L.A. comedy scene in the 70s, Brad Garrett kills it in this past season as I can't remember his name. But
you couldn't hear it, but I buzzed you.
Buzzed me?
I buzzed you.
Like a congratulatory buzz?
No, it was not.
Because you love Brad Garrett just as much as I do?
I mean, I like everybody Everybody Loves Raymond. I just didn't like the show.
Because you think it's destroying the patriarchy? No.
Okay, it was another question about Matt. Maybe it was David Ortiz where he was talking about missing Matt. Enough of that. I know you guys and myself don't care about Henry and the annoying teenagers, but they brought up Oceanside. The thing is, Kang and Bunch decided to wipe out two groups of Oceanside and the Saviors to make the story more condensed on the groups we care about. Having the story too spread out killed the show. I agree. Other than the lame writing, I have a feeling, I don't know, it killed because I still like the show, but I do think that it was too much.
You saturate it.
I have a feeling another group will be gone soon, the Kingdom, and even more time and money can be spent on the main group and not so many extras will be needed or paid. The show is trying to be here in the future, so every company layoffs are warranted. It's business. Yeah. True. Sorry, I can't read, man. I really don't know what's going on today. P.S. I loved Andrea, like JP. Why? There's no real answer. It's just because. That's it.
Love Andrea. I love her.
Mail call. Why did Scott Gimple write out Matty D from the Podcasting Dead? Well, I think we touched on that earlier, but
we did.
I think that's it. I'm trying to make sure I didn't skip anybody, man. I'm using my phone, and I'm so blah today. I'm sorry, dude. Or dudes, dudettes, everybody out there. JP.
Look, it's kind of a dreary-ish day.
Well, and we're preparing for a weekend of snow, too, which means that we have to work 10 times harder at the radio station. So, I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it. But so, leave us your mail call question in the comments section, and we will answer it on the next. Sorry this was so spacey, and I couldn't read, and we're just so blah. Well, you're great. I'm blah, but, but interact.
What's great is Everybody Loves Raymond. That's what's great.
No.
I think we can all agree on that and leave on a high note.
I don't think so.
All right.
I just buzzed you again.
You buzzed me again.
I buzzed you again. I'm going to cut off the mic so you can hear it.
It's not a celebratory buzzing. I don't know.
It's what's so bad is I need to start using these. We have this whole array of sound effects in the system. Let's see I think this is the one I created for you and for you. No, I created this one for you.
For me?
Back when you used to be a little more risque and would kind of go out in left field on something. I think. Check this out.
Don't say weird shit.
Oh, my.
Why would you say that?
Surprise,
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Unacceptable! What the
You remember that, Jim?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's like 3 years old, man. I just created that for an old podcast so that I could like use that to get you back on track.
Oh, look, I'll try to start saying more, strange things. We can use it again.
You do. Hey, you do whatever, man. I'm not going to stop you from. I never minded any of the things you said. I just wanted an excuse to use that awesome little clip.
It is a sweet sound effect. I'll give you that.
And then we have this one.
Oh boy, I love me some Sergio Leone spaghetti western.
And you can't have sound effects without the classic.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll start using these. It's just hard to be in the conversation and looking for the right sound effect. That's why most stations will have like a producer or somebody that's in the back hitting these sound effects as they go. But so yeah, we're gonna quit yapping on. That's kind of the point of this podcast, though, right? So we can just kind of BS with our listeners for a while. Maybe we should really start doing the mail calls live.
We should. You need a Fred Norris. That's who does all Stearns like sound effects and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Good old Fred.
But we will see you. I would love to say Monday, but it depends on how much of the snow we're going to get. I mean, it's possible we could be snowed in and working from home, but either way, we will see you next week, darn it.
Yeah, we will.
We'll figure something out, and we will see you next week. If you've made it this far and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, press the little bell beside the subscribe button. I promise you, if you're new, not all of our podcasts are so blah. It's just Friday, but for some reason it feels like a Monday to me.
It does. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's because with our job, Friday means a lot of like prep work to be off for a few days. So it's just kind of like, ugh. But nonetheless, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and we will catch you next week. We love you, and we thank you just so much for listening. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
We're the Podcasting Dead.
Yeah. Soon to come, Everybody Loves Raymond podcast.
What would we name that podcast? The Raymond Dead? The Loving Dead?
I don't know. I'm stumped, pal.
You get back to me on that.
Yeah.